Alright, welcome to Chipotle and the first video of Proverbs. I wanted to start a playlist on Proverbs on the YouTube channel, and what better way to start it off than with a little taco, some barbacoa, and some guac. So, thank you, Jesus, for this food. Bless it to my body, and bless this reading of your word, this playlist. To those who hear it, to those who are attentive to your wisdom. Thank you for your word. It is more precious than any treasure on this earth or any amount of money. And so hopefully we see it as such. Amen. So yeah, I'm going to do readings of Proverbs. I want to eat a little bit too while I'm talking to you guys. Readings of Proverbs, and then kind of give my insights to the book of Proverbs. I've not done that yet, and I think it would be really awesome. I've been meditating on Proverbs ever since I was in high school when I first started reading the Bible. It was like the third book of the Bible I read. I started off in James, because that's my middle name, and James is, basically the book of applied wisdom. So there's a difference between hearing wisdom and then just letting it go in one ear and out the other. My dad used to say God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Think about that. 2 ears, 1 mouth. There's a reason for that. And so, if you hear wisdom but you don't actually apply it, like the book of James basically teaches in the New Testament, then you're being a fool. And I'm not calling you a fool, but that's what the Bible calls you. He who builds his house on the sand lives a life of frivolity and foolishness. And the book of Proverbs is full of the difference between wise living and foolish living. So, what good is wisdom and knowledge if you don't apply it? You know what I'm saying? Oh. With that in mind, let's go to Proverbs chapter 1, shall we? I'd recommend it in the King James Bible as well. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice and judgment and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. The wise man will hear and will increase learning. A man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. So I want to pause in this section. So what are the dark sayings of the wise? When you think about the dark sayings of the wise, a lot of people that are very stupid and foolish with their words, they say things to laugh about things that are dark sayings to them. But even the wise have dark words, words of fear, words that cause the emotions that elicit fear in their hearts. A wise man is not without fear. And if you look at that, right after Solomon writes their dark sayings, he goes to one of the most important verses in this entire section of the Bible. The fear of the Lord. What does that mean? To fear Yahweh. To truly have your heart fear his name and nothing else. See, a lot of people, they don't understand their own emotions. They don't understand the power of fear. What you fear, you give control over you. If you fear evil, or you fear ghosts, or you fear demons, you give them control of you. When you fear God, the one that actually the demons and Satan himself, even how crazy he is, they fear God because God has the power to punish them eternally. So it's like when you rightfully understand what fearing the Lord means, it means you give him control over you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fear of the Lord means that you are giving control to him. What he is rightfully due. When fools and other wicked people give fear to Satan, they give Satan control over them, rather than fearing God, who's even more powerful than Satan. So, to fear the Lord, you also know that the most common phrase from God is, do not be afraid. So we fear God, and at the same time he's saying to us, don't be afraid. Because when we have our fear rightfully placed, he is our biggest defense. God will protect you from all evil. It's the truth. He's a defender. He's a defender of his sheep. So that's a little glimpse into my knowledge of the fear of the Lord. When I was little, I used to fear Satan and demons. I was so scared of them. I was scared of being abducted by aliens. I was scared of evil. And then when I learned that the chief alien was God, and that the demons and Satan himself were scared of God, that's when my whole mindset and my heart set shifted when it came to the fear of God. There's a very healthy fear when you fear the Lord. When you fear evil, evil has no good intended for you. If you fear Satan, you fear Satan to a bitter and distressed end. Alright, so let's keep reading. And then right after that it goes to honor thy father and mother. I rightfully feared my dad because I got my ass beat by him and by my mother. I got beat up by my parents for the bad things I did, and for right reason. It taught me hey, don't be a little, you know what I mean? So there's wise understanding when it comes to obeying your mom and dad and how that relates to fearing God. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay in wait for blood. Let us lurk privily in the innocent, for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. So, this saying, right? To young people it seems like, oh yeah, that'd be great. It's like the whole Viking way. Rape, pillage, and plunder. That's not a good way, dude. There are some pretty powerful good dudes that will whoop your ass and legit throw your ass in a cell. If you go rape, and pillage on a good government, aka God's righteous government, those people will kill you. They will put you in jail. They will put you in prison. There's a reason that God has executioners and policemen and all those kinds of people. So if you want to go rape, and pillage, you can do that, but it's not a wise way. The wise way is work hard, save money, be good. That is legit it. It seems really awesome to go out and party and go crazy and go steal and all that kind of stuff. It's a thrill for sure. No doubt about it. my Viking ancestors could tell you quite a bit about it. I mean, if you're strong enough, you can. I mean, if you want to kill police officers, you're gonna get in real trouble, in my opinion. So I wouldn't advise you to go that way. That's kind of what these sinners are enticing these young people to be. Like, oh yeah, let's go kill, rape, and pillage, and then go fight like policemen. No, like that's not the wise way. You will probably, like I said, get in jail, go into prison, or get killed. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't advise that path. So verse 16, for their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. And like, here's the thing, like, people who think, oh, we could take the police on, they're softies now. Dude, when the police aren't going to be going in, you know who's going to be going in to get you? The military. And the military is no freaking joke. And I mean, I know a lot of people are going soft and a lot of people are going the whole feminist identity. But if I was king, if I'm ruling a country and we got a little, I don't want to use swear words in this, but we got little poop heads running around out there with their little heads cut off like little chickens after they get killed and slaughtered. That's basically how I would rule. I'd send in the military and be like, anybody who's out there that's causing a ruckus, you can kill on command. Like, no joke. That's how I would put it. And honestly, how I'd rule this country with Chicago, I love people. I know I'm white. I worked and played on a minority semi-pro football team as a minority, right? But from what I've heard out of Chicago, it's really bad. Like, it's worse than Iraq and Afghanistan. More people die in the city of Chicago alone than soldiers died over in Iraq and Afghanistan. To me, it sounds like we need to have military patrolling the streets down there and like basically getting people to work. Like, not letting gangsters rule the streets and one OG hitting another OG and then basically getting little children shot up in a slum home, or not a slum home, but like a home on the block. Like, that ain't America. It's not how we should be living. Like, that is not what's conducive to like healthy families. Like, I feel sad for those people. I'm not trying to say like we need to kill OGs and stuff. I'm just being like, hey, you need to do like the real flex. Like, you need to flex like the military might, not just the police. If the police can't take care of it, and the government basically doesn't even want them around, then yeah, send in the military and be like, hey, we don't want to kill y'all. We just don't want y'all killing each other. Like, basic, simple human understanding. Have dudes with 50 cals on Humvees, have 50 patrolling the whole streets. The worst of the parts. Have dudes with 50 cals patrolling the streets. And if they freaking shoot a U.S. military thing, then they're really asking for it. Because they're really stupid then. That's how I see it. But yes, more people being murdered in Chicago annually than overseas is not okay for our country. It's not okay for the children living in those situations. It's not. And there are good black men in the U.S. military that would do that would agree with what I'm saying. So before you say, oh, this guy's just a white racist, think again, because I'm not. I truly love the black community. I lived with a Nigerian man at the farm, a lawyer, a Democrat as well. We are friends. So, you know what I mean? Like, figure out the wise way and figure out what to do about the situations you're seeing. So, that's my thoughts on that. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. And they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privily for their own lives. These people are risking their own lives in their wickedry, in their wickedness. They care. They don't even care about their own selves. People who are on drugs and like shooting up, the next gangster's house, or just shooting up for pride's sake. Like, they're crazy. They don't even understand. Like, they don't even know what they're doing. It's like what Jesus said on the cross: Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, unjust gain. And there's white dudes that are like this too. They just do it in a different sense. So don't think that like I'm not against greedy white people too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hate both. I hate greed in general. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Wisdom crieth without, crieth in the streets. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief places of the concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Like, it's like what I do when I preach on the streets. Like, people look at me like I'm the madman, like I'm the crazy dude. But it's wisdom calling to her children, like, when? How long? How long will you live without understanding? When will you be wise, you know? It's like when I was little. I'm gonna eat again. Oh, good. When I think about this metaphor or imagery, I think of like a mother looking for her lost children. Like, if you lost your son or daughter in the streets of like New York City or the streets of Minneapolis, you know how that woman would be crying out for her child, like, Alex, Alex, or like Lexi, Lexi, you know, like yelling to get her child back, to help them find her. You know what I mean? That's the image I see when I hear wisdom crieth in the streets. Like, she's crying for her lost children. Like, there's so many lost children in this world that wisdom is crying for, and they just refuse to hear her. It's like, what child wouldn't like go to their mother's voice, you know? And it's like, you got these hardcore gangsters, you got these, you know, uppity white boys that just want to put their dick in something new, you know, or like some new girl. And it's like, you stupid. Like, when will you be wise? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if your mom was calling out to you, like, and you're in a desperate situation as a child, you would run to her, you would cling to her, you'd be very scared, you know? And like, I think of like the just military stories I've heard where dudes are getting shot up on the beaches of Normandy and they're crying for their mothers before they're dying. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know real fear until you face death, you know? And these other guys that they've made death like their nearest friend. They've made Satan their best friend in some senses. They feel like they don't fear death. They actually welcome death. It's like, how messed up is their mind if they'd rather die and go to hell than love God and worship and serve Him. Like, that's how messed up. So yeah, the image of a woman crying for her lost children in the streets is the woman wisdom crying to this whole world, to this whole generation. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, and I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But those who hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. So there is a time, I guess, where God just lets these people be what they are. Like, the damned be damned and the blessed be blessed in some senses. It's sad because it's like, you give people chance after chance after chance, and then eventually there is a time, if you read this carefully, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. Like, these people have been given chance after chance to repent and believe and to be wise. And then eventually, there is a time, like there is in the law of God, times where children are so wicked that they are put to death. If any child strikes father or mother, he shall be put to death. If you have a very rebellious child that will not obey you through verbally, through physically, like there is like the death penalty for children that are severely rebellious in God's law. I mean, it's obviously not ideal, but it is a thing. And I mean, look at the cross. Like, God the Father didn't spare his only perfect son. So these other ones that are just like purposely rebellious, think it's not easy for God to kill? No, I mean, if he killed Jesus, he'll kill you for sure. So think about that. Have a healthy fear of your Creator, because you don't want to be his enemy. You want to be his friend. The only way you're his friend is through Jesus too. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that first reading and some of my insight in the first chapters of Proverbs. And then I love how it ends too, because they wouldn't have any of my reproof. They wouldn't listen to my correction. They wouldn't hear me and obey me. The turning of the simple, like turning away from wisdom from the simple, is their demise, is their doom. But I love how it ends. But those who hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. Like, I don't fear evil in my heart. Even if one of these guys came up with a gun, somebody from the satanic temple of all places comes up and shoots me, immediately I will be with God in his holy heaven because of grace. Simple grace that has been given to me through Jesus Christ. I am strong in the grace that is in Jesus Christ. And I don't fear evil. I don't fear satanic, wicked hitmen. I don't fear, things that I shouldn't fear other than God. What can man do to me? They can kill my body, but they can't touch my soul. My soul belongs to God. There's certain things that no human being or evil being, demon, Satan can control. God's in sovereign control over them and sovereign control over evil. God is in control of my heart, my ward, my destiny, my soul. And that's a huge comfort to me. So thank you for listening to Proverbs chapter 1. Hope you join me in the next adventure. I'm going to eat the rest of my food. I'm just letting it sit there and wait, but this is way better. So God bless you. Jesus is Lord. And Chipotle is awesome.